we are going to start cutting up our templates and tracing them onto different parts of our pattern papers. I went ahead and created more pattern papers as well from the ones that you guys saw in the video that I thought went a little bit better with my animal. So when we cut our stencil up, we're not cutting it in one big shape. We're going to look at pieces of the shape that we can trace onto different pieces of patterns. So for example, the head is actually 2 pieces. I'm going to start with the biggest piece first though. So even though there's something inside of this piece, I'm going to cut just this first because this is the bigger section. Okay, got that. And I'm going to cut just the body around the legs. I'm not going to do the legs because I want the legs to be a different pattern. Just creating, think of it like puzzle pieces. I'm making an animal puzzle right now. Now, since this tail isn't actually inside, I can cut this up because they fit together. It's not completely inside of the tail like the head is. I can do this in 2 pieces. So I have the tail, part 1, part 2, and then I need to do the legs. I actually think I want the leg to be a little higher up, like that, so it looks more like he's sitting. I have my puzzle piece, and again, this I'm going to have to do something a little special with because it's completely inside when I trace. So I'll start with that. I think for the mane, which is my bigger piece, I want it to be this pattern. So I'll figure out where I want it to go. And you can just hold it and cut around if you want. If that's too hard, I would recommend flipping it to the back. I'll move these over. Tracing it out. And then cutting it. And try and spare as much of the paper as you can so that you can use it for other parts of your picture if you decide you want to use that pattern more. Alright, so that's going to be the mane. Now, I no longer need this shape, so what I'm going to do is cut the mane off. And now I have the head that can go inside. So I need to pick another pattern for the head. And again, I'm gonna hold up the different patterns, see what I think would work. Yeah, I think this one. I think I want it to be the lighter side so you can see the face more. So that's probably the trickiest part of these cut paper animals, is if you have something like this. So for this one, again, you can keep flipping it to the back and tracing. If you're a little more comfortable, you can also hold the tracer while you cut. I might cut off a couple sections. You just have to make sure you don't move your stencil around on you if you do this. It's a little harder to do. So don't try it if you're not too confident with scissors. Oh no, you know, I realized because I did this backwards, but I did this forwards, my lion's not on the right spot. Oh no. The leg will be that way because I did it backwards. So another reason why you should make sure not to trash the rest of your paper, because I did that backwards. So now I kind of have to use this side. And you know, for this one, I could probably still use these legs even though they're backwards. I could cut them at the other angle. Oh, look, I got a little triangle for the nose. Perfect. So if you have an animal like mine where it's facing one direction, you need to either trace everything on the back, all the pieces on the back, or cut them all on the front, because if you do half and half, it's going to end up like mine where you cut it going the opposite direction. Now there's still one pattern I haven't used yet. It's probably my least favorite. I wasn't too happy with my texture pattern. I like how the leaves are showing up on my texture. It just doesn't work with my lion very well. So I think I'm going to create something. I need to use all 4 patterns somewhere. Maybe I'll make a bush that my lion is sitting next to. And that way I can use a little bit more of the papers that worked out better for me. And I actually have a scrap that looks very similar to my tail. I might be able to just reuse it. I think I'm gonna make a couple leaves coming up here so it looks like he's sitting next to a bush. I can just do that with my pencil. Okay, and once I'm happy with my collage, you need to pick a background paper. You can use the color construction paper in your art kit and arrange it onto the paper. And I have some things sticking out of my paper, and that's okay. But I've used all 4 of my patterns in some way in my composition, and now I'm ready to glue. You can start at the bottom pieces, so I would probably glue the body first because it's underneath a lot of the other pieces. And just make sure when you put your glue down, you can use a glue stick or a glue bottle. Make sure to go along the edges. You can do the inside too, but really what you need is the edges. And hold it down, don't just tap it, hold it. Count in your head to 10 or 20, just to give the glue a little extra help sticking to each of the papers, bonding together. And if you still have extra space and you want to use more of your scraps, you can. But once it's finished, let your animal dry and have fun.